Can I tell you a story? Because I was lying awake the other night and something just kept haunting me. Why does every single gaming keyboard suck? Why do you have to compromise your keyboard sounding and feeling good just to put on a thumbnail, "This is cheating"? Howdy hey, I'm Hipyo Tech and I try keyboards so you don't have to. And in my quest to find the best custom keyboards, I have tried so many gaming keyboards. And there's just one problem. You see this switch? It makes gaming keyboards fast, responsive, magnetic even. And it also makes them sound... oh god, yeah, not very good. But it's 2025. Keyboards have changed forever because of this brand new, not so new, technology, TMR. Now theoretically, this changes everything. Because with TMR, the world is your oyster. Gaming switches on your WASD? You got it! Fancy Thocky switches on every other key? Yeah, baby! Keyboard that instantly gives you a girlfriend anytime you type on it? Sorry, little bro, you're just gonna have to stay subscribed. And that's all thanks to MagMech technology, which I've looked at before on this channel. But in this video, I'm gonna be diving into the Womier Sk75 TMR. That is a mouthful, dear God. Maybe that's what she said, I don't know. Which on paper could be my favorite gaming keyboard ever. I mean, look at this, 130 bucks, hot swappable. It's got freaking keycaps on it. Look at the weight, it's like Hipyo colored. And did I mention, it can sound like heaven. Oh. But hold on. Don't go out and buy it yet because there are a few problems. Speaking of problems, I'm sick right now. I'm congested. One like equals one less sick, congested Hipyo. And full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Womier, who did not review this video, did not tell me what to say, and all of my thoughts are my own. Now, as we get into the unboxing, let's take a look at this thing. As you might notice on the box, it says Womier Sk75 HE. That's just because it was previously called that, but this is still the Womier Sk75 TMR. And it's currently on sale for $104 at the link down below, which is kind of insane considering some of the specs on this thing. Now, based on the unboxing, you might think, Hipyo, this is underwhelming. It's a boring little package. It's got a keycap puller and switch puller. It's got a cable that's really lame. And it's got a couple switches and some keycaps. But similar to everyone who thought I was going to be a doctor growing up, looks can be deceiving. Sorry, Mom, I make videos about keyboards, I know. Because when I pull this thing out of the case, it's quite heavy. That's because this bad boy comes in at 2,000 grams and is made out of full aluminum. And a pretty nice aluminum, mind you. Well, like, in how it's finished, it didn't compliment me or anything. If you're new to keyboards, a full aluminum case is just a rock-solid way to have a decent build quality, a little bit of heft, and a bit of a premium feel. It's way nicer to have an aluminum thing on your desk than a plastic thing on your desk. And it's also pretty commonplace now in a lot of keyboards, even around the $100 range. Now, seeing that this thing is budget-friendly made me think that maybe it's not actually going to be as good after all, because you have to cut corners, right? And we're going to have to check out some of these pretty insane claims that they're making, like 0.1 milliseconds of latency over wired. Huh? Now, a bit boringly, it only comes in one color scheme. You get a black keyboard with a very fancy backweight, mind you, and these pretty boring GMK Pulse style keycaps. Now, the finish on these keycaps is fine. They're made out of double shot PBT, and they are literally nothing to write home about. They're a fine keycap set. And the keyboard itself is 75% with a pretty standard layout that's easy to replace keys on if you wanted to get a new keycap set. It's also the best layout, especially for most games and gaming, so yeah, take that. Numpad enjoyers, I might have a video for you later this year. Stay tuned. Now, also after removing these keycaps, you might notice these switches, which are browns and Otemu browns. Now, if you barely know anything about keyboards, usually brown means tactile switch, but these are in fact magnetic linears from Otemu, a brand that has been on the bottom of my radar for so long. You also might notice that these don't have pins on them because they are magnetic switches, and that kind of leans into why this board is TMR. Now, to quickly boil it down without repeating myself in every video I ever make about keyboards, TMR stands for tunneling magnetoresistance, which means it's a special magnet sensing tech that makes it so you can also fit hot swap sockets on your keyboard, making it so you could put both kinds of switches on this board. Thocky mechanical switches and gaming-oriented Hall effect magnetic switches. Now, the Hipyo Tech patented take is Hall effect is a little bit overrated, but is still nice for some specific gaming tasks as it is technically the best. There's stuff like rapid trigger that's super overpowered in games like Osu, where if you press a key down and then you slightly press it up, the key resets, meaning you can instantly press it down again. Super broken for key spamming. There's also fun gaming features like SOCD, which is literally cheating because it's banned in some games like CSGO. If you want to learn more about magnetic keyboards and gaming keyboards in general, I suggest you watch some of the other videos of that on my channel. A good recent example is the Fun 60, which also is TMR like this keyboard, or my videos on the Drunk Deer keyboards, which are not TMR, but I go into more gaming detail there. But you're also probably wondering, Hipyo, they made crazy claims about latency. Is any of that real? And, kind of. Some of it's kind of real. This keyboard is blazingly fast. Not that you'll notice the difference between a couple of milliseconds, but the YouTuber Migs did test this thing with a bunch of fancy hardware, and it's really fast with under a millisecond of latency over wired, because TMR does have the capability of being one of the fastest PCB techs. And if you want any of that other detail, go watch Migs' video or any of the other deep, in-depth testing folks. But how does that software work? Well, in this case, not that great for this board. The Womier software does everything you need it to do from a very basic standpoint. It lets you customize your keys. It lets you set rapid trigger and adjust actuation points of switches. It lets you do SOCD style features, but all in a very clunky wrapper that is very annoying to use. I really hope Womier fixes this software soon because it's gotten better since their previous releases, but is still not great whatsoever. And with rivals like Keychron and Wooning having infinitely better software that's way more user-friendly, if you're someone that's gonna tinker with software, you're better off going with one of those other boards, even though this is better in almost every other way. But why is it better in almost every way, you might ask? Well, let's take a gander. Well, as we've already established, this thing is built really well for a cheap keyboard. It's made out of full aluminum, it's got a 2-piece build, it's even running a top mount, which is a very nice way to mount your keyboard to the case, which does mean that this thing is not a gasket-mounted keyboard, but it still has a pretty nice typing experience, and you honestly don't want a lot of flex if you're doing a lot of gaming, because it can kind of just get annoying. But here's the thing. This keyboard right now sounds pretty terrible and feels kind of cringe. Just listen to this. That's not great, right? Well, magnetic switches have an inherent capability of sounding incredibly rattly and chattery and just generally plastic and cheap, and no keyboard has ever fully solved this. They can sound decent, like this is not terrible, it's not the worst, but it's not great, it's not thawky. But then here's the thing, you can pull out any switch on this keyboard and replace it with a standard mechanical switch, something that you can't do in any of the competitor keyboards like Keychron or Wooning. So if you wanted to, you could just swap out your WASD for magnetic switches, or have it as a full mechanical build and swap out specific keys that you need when you actually want to do gaming. The hybrid mag-mech approach is absolutely incredible, and finally making me recommend these keyboards to people, because this is peak customization and everything I've been asking for finally! There are so many incredible switches out there that you could try in this keyboard or any other mechanical keyboard. Check out my videos for those. But I just decided to quickly swap out all the switches for these Womier Studios ones because they're pretty decent, they're made by HMX, and I like them a lot. You'll hear it at the final sound test, but this thing instantly sounds and feels way better and became a premium custom keyboard just like the regular Womier Sk75 instantly. Now, this is just a general glowing review for TMR style keyboards that let you swap out switches with the mag-mech approach. And being honest, this is still kind of in the early stages because a lot of the keyboards implementing this have really clunky software that do work but aren't super fun to use. But this is one more step in the right direction, and I am incredibly excited for where this technology goes. But what do you think? Is this a bit of a gimmick? Is it all hype? Is every keyboard literally cheating because you use it to message that one girl you met in Romania? Yeah, I know about her. You should probably tell someone. Anyways, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Howdy hey.